Hi everyone, my name's Anniemay, and the games industry just won't let me back in, at least full time. Nobody seems to respond to my emails. I'm working outside of the industry as well now, and if you asked me 12 months ago if I even wanted to come back in, I would have been pretty unsure. But I have persisted, and I've been able to work on some really fun gigs over these last 12 months. Some you can see here. But how did I do this? What did I do for myself to feel more comfortable approaching these and find these opportunities? Well, I have a few case studies to show you. So first, we'll start with an aside on networking. Louis, I absolutely loved your talk, but networking makes me very anxious. I always feel like I'm interrupting a conversation with friends, and I feel really bad. The closest I got to feeling comfortable was going to PAX last year and handing out my cards to some lovely devs after playing their games. It didn't go anywhere, but it was great meeting new people, and that was really fun. So instead of going to events, what did I do? Well, I decided to get up here like I did last year and do my first ever talk at TG Lightning Talks in 2024. Thank you. Just as nervous as I am right now, so it's great. I've learned a lot, it seems. My talk last year was about championing the narrative, and I felt like it was a good way to show myself off and shine in what I love doing. And at the end, I showed that I was interested in working in narrative or QA. And then after the event, I got approached and ended up working on a Melbourne Museum exhibit called Antopia as a QA tester. Really cool experience, really different, but it was really great, and it felt like this had worked for me. So my lesson here for this one is to just get out of your comfort zone. Sure, there might be some boundaries that feel too hard to push, but there might be some alternatives, and I've got some up here. Oh, I want to use the laser pointer. Ooh, okay. See how shaky my hand is? If you feel uncomfortable, some alternatives. Could you go with some friends and just hang out? And even if you don't talk to anyone, at least you hung out in the area. Could you post about your upcoming appearance and maybe react to some other people and be like, hey, I'm here, you want to hang out? Could you volunteer at events like this? And could you present a talk? So otherwise, we'll move on to our next case study. Now, we all love new connections, and I hope to make some tonight and at PAX. But we can't forget about the old ones that we've had along our journey. In 2022, I worked on a game called Aspire 2, and I met the senior narrative designer on that project. We stayed in touch ever since, and late last year I got to work on a game called Blood Typers, QA narrative assistant, basically typing of the dead kind of game. And through that, I learned that it was important to remain consistent, keep reaching out to those people who you had fun working with. They may not always have something for you, but maybe when they do, you will be in their heads. Some other things I learned, laser pointer. I kept a contact list of all the developers, publishers, and game jam buddies. You never know what they've been getting up to since then. Don't be afraid to ask them if their project could use someone like you, and your skills might be able to fit into a weird niche. I was testing that the words were in American spelling and weren't wrong or inappropriate. Weird little thing, but it was great. I loved doing it, and it kept me in the industry. And on to our last case study. So in 2024, around September, I left the company Drop Bear Bites due to some burnout that I was having. I had worked in the industry for about 5 years, and the industry was imploding and game studios were shutting down around me, which wasn't fun. During that time, I met some people on Broken Roads who later went to work at a company called Smash Attack Studios. And during that time, I knew that we were working on a project, so I reached out and see if I could help out. I was really excited for something low scope and low commitment, especially after, like I said at the start, not even being sure if I was passionate about working in this industry anymore. And I even got to try new things like being a producer, and through communication and clear boundaries, I got to learn that I didn't like being a producer. You guys are amazing. I got to work on things like Antopia and Blood Typers, and I still got to be a part of things like PAX last year or the Games Expo this year. And what I learned from this one is to try and listen to your burnout, take time with it, and work around it where you can. You're not always going to be able to just push through and keep applying for a million jobs and suffer with thinking if you're even good enough at it anymore, which you are, and just let that burnout teach you new things about yourself. For example, I learned that communicating really early on what I wanted to do in this role helped me on Nelstar. There was no muddied lines, my expectations and responsibilities were clear, which was great. And also take some time to try some new hobbies or courses. I did that project management course, and that's when I gave it a go and realised, whoa, this is too much for me. But it's still something cool, and it's a certificate or something that you can show to people to show just how rich you are as a person. Otherwise, the main things, staying open-minded, proactive, and trying new things is what helped me find work over the past 12 months. It's really not easy, and trust me, I didn't even know I had to talk this year until my partner said, "You've done so much, you should go talk about it." I was like, true, you're right, okay. Maybe I have something to tell you all. Otherwise, thank you so much all for listening. I've got some socials up. I'm once again looking for work in narrative design and writing, so if any of you know anyone or would like to keep in touch, I'd love that. I've got a next slide. I'm going back to mine. Otherwise, thank you all so much, and I hope we all get to chat after this. Thank you.